Hey gang, welcome aboard for another one-take tour. This one will be specifically about the engine room and what I call the mechanical space, which is right down there. Again, one-take tour, lack of edits. We're going to try to do this all by myself, lifting hatches, closing hatches. So I'll try to move very smoothly and slowly as we go. We're right here. It's the day before 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. I am just about 4 hours north of Cape May, where we'll be there for the 4th of July. And the blinds and the shades are drawn because it's really bright out. Okay, so here we go. First is we're in the aft part of the boat. We're in the salon, as you can see. The day head's over there. The galley's here. This is where our nice big chair will go, right here. Our Caesar stone top, our galley, coffee, 9 cubic foot Nova Cool refrigerator, freezer, and of course the Pilothouse. So I've pulled away all the rugs to make it very simple, and I've actually pulled the hatches. So you never want to do that underway because you will stub your toe and it will hurt. But one person, gas assisted struts, and this is the mechanical space, okay? It is a full 3+ inches in thickness with sound attenuating deafening material. Which really works great. Underneath is the mechanical space, one of several spaces that you can get under the deck and into the bilge area. So here I go. I'm going to try to do a little pivot, and now we're going to go down again. I was right there, and now we're going to go down. So what we're looking at right now in that section is my 6 kilowatt Northern Lights generator. That generator puts out, when it's underway, about 50 amps of power. And so that means my wife and I can run our Pilothouse / salon AC. We could run our stateroom AC. We could cook. There's a lot of things you could do with 50 amps, but this is the generator. This is the access panel right here. And here is the raw water strainer that brings in fresh water to run through the generator. And in fact, I just pulled up the panel and you can see there's a seacock. What I love about Helmsman's is we label everything. So generator, raw water intake, and there's the seacock. Obviously it's in the open position. And you can see the bilge is dry. And what I'll do now is put back the flooring. Again, I'm trying to do this with one hand, so if it's not perfect, it's because it's one hand, and I'll tidy it up later. Let's see if I can make that work. I can't with one hand, but I will with the second hand. While we're back here looking at the generator, this is the fuel manifold system for the generator, and you're going to see a bunch of orange handles. This essentially allows the starboard tank or the fuel tank to drive the fuel into the generator. So right here you'll see the schematic for the starboard fuel tank, which right now is open fuel in, open fuel return, and you'll see on the other side, which is the port side, those levels are closed. And you can see those are closed. And there's your rate core water separator. Again, your strainer. And again, underneath this hatch was the seacock for that. We're looking right now while we're here at the Victron inverter. And we're also looking at here, which I showed you in the interior tour, the remote battery switches. These are the connection. These are like this old school dial on off battery switches that we all grew up boating with. That's what these are. But again, very clear, very clean, very bright. As I look forward towards the bow, I'm greeted by my array of batteries. There are batteries further afield, which I'll show you in a moment. But here is my generator start battery, and then your house batteries. Very clean AGM Victron Energy batteries. And if you want, here's a slot for another one. I'll show you more in a moment, but here is your transmission. I had to change that transmission fluid and filter, which is standard with ZF Marine. That is the name of the manufacturer. I'll see if I can get closer after 30 hours of operation. And so you'll see the dipstick right there, that orange dipstick is the transmission. And then the filter, let's see if I can show you guys. The filter is right there. And you can access it from over there, and I'll show you that in a moment. So the primary use of this space right here, sorry everyone, is to really come down and check your generator every single day. You just pop this hatch off, and you can check your oil, you check your coolant levels. If you want to adjust your manifold, where you draw gas or fuel from, diesel, port or starboard tank. And then there's plenty of storage back here. I mean, here's some extra life jackets. I mean, and it goes back. I mean, it really does. I showed you the generator stop at the Pilothouse, but here's a remote position as well, right here. We're also looking at the wet exhaust coming off the generator and up and out. And then we're looking at the exhaust for the 380 horsepower made in America Cummins, which goes back there, and I'll show you the what I call the main engine room back there. So this is essentially a mechanical space. You can see primarily generator. You can access strainers, and then the last thing I want to show you is your stripless seal. So you have a glass, plexiglass cover, so you can see your dripless seal in action. And you can also, at a glance, I'm doing it with this one hand, pull it up. Look how dry that is. And as you're operating, that carbon filter there is spinning, and you'll sometimes see a black carbon trail, which is normal. So you can see this right here. Again, trying to be good with the camera work, everyone. There we go. All right, so that's the mechanical space. I'm standing in it. I'm 5 feet 11 inches, and my head comes right to this counter. Okay? To step out, I do not step on the generator. I'm about 220 pounds, and I think that's probably not advisable. I just put one hand here, and I put a foot right here, and I just sort of upsy daisy we go. That's about it. Again, I'll close this hatch, gas assist strut, no big deal. I'm going to close it so me or my wife don't stub our toe. There's one. There's two. We take our fancy runner. That was probably like $40. It's the runner that we're using for our relocation trip. And it's like new. Okay, now let's go to what I call the main engine room. So there's a hatch here, which I've opened ahead of this video. And then the second hatch, I push the runner to the side. And again, one hand, gas assist strut. Look at that. It's bright, it's white. You may not have seen a rainbow came out and a bunch of doves flew away. It's really beautiful. My wife is laughing off camera over there. I won't show her, but anyways, same sound attenuating, deafening material right here. You could just notice, get close. It really is quite effective. Again, we're looking back. So now what we're looking at is an above view of a 380 horsepower Cummins engine. I love this engine. It is just so simple to look at, maintain, do your daily checks. There is a ladder that goes right here And I took it out for this tour, so it was just one less thing I had to deal with. But what I've found underway, honestly, everyone, is people literally just sort of, I'll try to do this while I'm videotaping. People kind of just get on their bum, like I'm doing right now. And Scott Helker said, you could step on this. That's it. These are where your oil and gas filters are. So you can step right here, and you literally just sort of plop yourself down, like I have. And here you are. So, not being a professional cameraman, let's see if I can do this quite easily. So, this is where you would put your oil in here. Here's your oil dipstick. It's really simple. You see how it has that contoured. I'm not going to open it because we just did a multi-hour run about 2 hours ago, so I don't want to mess with opening anything, but you literally just twist it, pull it up, and there you go, your dipstick. And then of course your coolant. I'm not going to open that up either. I checked everything prior. It's pretty cool, but I don't want to open this up, of course. All right, and I'll walk you around that engine in a moment. So while we're down here, you can see this is my Magnus Master rotor stabilization system. And underneath this black dome or plastic cover is in fact the arm that goes down and the rotor that rests off of that. And right now when we're not underway, it's tucked and protected by the keel. It's under the keel. And of course that's the engine. But earlier I showed you the manifold for the generator. Here's the manifold for the main engine, or for the engine, pardon me. And so similar process, you would take a look at port side or starboard side. One side will be open and the other side will be closed. And that's how easy it is to determine which tank you want to use. I have a little extra weight on my starboard side, so I typically put a little less fuel in that tank just to keep things balanced in a nice way. Let me show you again. The whole system in the floor is covered with these beautiful boards where you can get access to your transducer. That's your holding tank pump discharge if you were to pump while you're underway, which you can't do, of course. And then there's your transducer hookup into the electronics system. But again, look how dry it is. I'll close it up, and there you are. Here's your diesel fuel water filtration system. Some people have Raycor in the past. Now we have Griffin. We could talk more about that in a moment. Which one you're drawing off from, and you have a spare. If you're underway, you literally just turn it around. Here's a workspace. I have an extra absorbent. Place to store tools, etc. As I'm rolling back here, let's see if I can do this. We have our Fireboy engine suppression system. Here's your engine start battery, dedicated. This is your all your electrical lines terminate here. Look how clean they are, labeled. Very nice. As we rotate around, these are where I have Garmin electronics. All my Garmin electronics terminate right here, and the runs go up from the engine room up into the pilot house and ultimately up to the flybridge. Here is a Victron inverter, and that's connected with the DMS Magnus Master. So that is my stabilizer computer or brain nerve center right there. I also have down here a reverso. And before I show you the engine from this view, I want to show you how I check my strainers. So here's another board. So you don't have to see this all the time. You can walk around it. Here's your raw water intake for your engine. And I literally took a flashlight and I checked it yesterday and I cleaned it out because we were in the Chesapeake and it sucked in a lot of reeds and grass during a storm. Here's a bilge. And here's 2 more strainers. I think one is for the seawater hose in the front, washdown, and then for an air conditioner. These are your sump pumps that drain the showers. I have 2 showers. Now I'm going to close this again with one hand. Sorry if it's jerky. But again, I'm almost 6 foot tall and I'm over 200 pounds, which is sad, I know. But I'm moving around here really easily. I wish I could turn my camera around to show you, but I don't think I'm able to do that and continue to film. Here's your oil filter, LF lube filter, FF fuel filter. Looking at our belt. Again, oil, dipstick, coolant. Yeah, someone nicked that up. It's so annoying. I'm so like anal. I want this to be perfectly white, and like someone stepped aboard at one of the yards and chipped it. So when I get home, I'll fix that. Let me see if I can show you the oil pan. This thing is so clean. Look at that. Not a drip of anything down there. Again, everything is labeled. And very clear. So when I did my transmission oil filter and change, I shimmied down here like I am now on my side. And I literally reached in with a 6mm Allen wrench and I turned that counterclockwise. My filter came up. I replaced the filter with the 2 rubber O-rings, put it back in, went to my reversal over here, put it on transmission, fill, and we were done. So this is the engine room on a Helmsman 38E. I'll stand up right now so you got a perspective of where you are when you stand up in the engine room. Here we go. So again, I'm about 6 feet tall and I'm about right here. And as you look forward, you have the stateroom in there and the helm station. I'm going to try to turn this around and see if you can see me. I want to thank everyone who watched these one-take videos, and stay tuned for my next one in about 3 or 4 days. Thanks. Bye.